The incredible story of Queen Amina, most powerful warrior queen in African history. We have often heard of strong and powerful queens in history, such as Catherine the Great from Russia, the Queen Elizabeth I of England, and Margaret II of Denmark. These women ruled the world with so much strength and courage until their death. But what we often forget are the great African warrior queens who ruled the continent of Africa alongside some great African kings. At the top mine, you will probably mention Cleopatra from Egypt and Queen Sheba of Ethiopia. But one of the most powerful of them all was probably the Queen Amina of Nigeria. Before we dive into the incredible story of Queen Amina, if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. It was in the middle of the 16th century, precisely in 1533, in the city of Zazzau, in the Hausa Kingdom, which is present-day city of Zaria, in the state of Kaduna in Nigeria, that one of Africa's strongest warrior queens of all time was born. Her father, King Nikatao, who was the 22nd ruler of the kingdom of Zazzau, had another daughter with her mother, Queen Bakwa Tarunku, who was named Zaria, which the British eventually named the city after when they defeated it in 1904. Amina had two younger siblings, her sister Zaria and brother Karimi. Amina grew up with her paternal grandparents. At a very tender age, Amina's grandmother on several occasions caught her holding a dagger as if she wanted to fight. This shocked her, as in those days mostly men fought in battles. She brought it to the knowledge of Amina's grandfather, who instead thought that Amina had interest in becoming a politician and warrior, so he started teaching and training her how to become one. At age 16, Amina was named Magajia, heir apparent, and was given 40 female slaves called Kuyanga. From an early age, Amina had a number of suitors attempting to marry her. Attempts to gain her hand in marriage included a daily offer of 10 slaves. From Makama and 50 male slaves and 50 female slaves, as well as 50 bags of white and blue cloth from the Emir of Kano. All attempts to marry Amina failed, as she feared that getting married would reduce her powers and warrior spirit, so she rejected every single suitor. After the death of her parent in 1566, Amina's brother Karimi became king of Zazzau. Amina could not become queen at the first because, despite the fact that she was the firstborn, it was against the tradition of the land for a female to succeed and rule over a kingdom. After Karimi took over as king, her sister Zaria fled the land and very little of her story is known. At this point, Amina had distinguished herself as a leading warrior in her brother's cavalry and gained notoriety for her military skills. She helped her brother fight and win several battles until his death. Amina's brother was the king of Zazzau for 9 years before his tragic demise. After the death of her brother Karami in 1576, Amina ascended to the position of Queen of Zazzau. Zazzau was one of the original 7 Hausa states, Hausa Bakwai, the others being Daura, Kano, Gobir, Katsina, Rano, and Garun Gabas. Before Amina assumed the throne, Zazzau was one of the largest of these states. It was also the primary source of slaves that would be sold at the slave markets of Kano and Katsina by Arab merchants. Only 3 months after being crowned queen, Amina waged a 34-year campaign against her neighbors to expand Zazzau territory. Her army, which consisted of 20,000 foot soldiers and 1,000 cavalry troops, was well trained and fearsome. In fact, one of her first announcements to her people was a call for them to resharpen their weapons. She conquered large tracts of land as far as Kwararafa and Nupe. It is recorded that each time she went to a new town to fight, she took a new lover, each of whom was said to meet the same unfortunate fate in the morning. Her brave lover was beheaded so that none should live to tell the tale. Under Amina, Zazzau controlled more territory than ever before. To mark and protect her new lands, Amina had her city surrounded by earthen walls. These walls became commonplaces across the nation until the British conquest of Zazzau in 1904, and many of them survive today. Known as Ganua Amina, Amina's walls. Queen Amina was the strongest warrior queen in Africa during that period. She would actively go to battleground and fight in very fierce battles. After more than 34 years of reign as the Queen of Zazzau, Queen Amina died in 1610 at the age of 77. It is reported that she died in mysterious circumstances in a place known as Atagara, which is present-day Ida in Kogo State, Nigeria. At the time of her death, she was single and had no child. Amina was one of the greatest African warrior queens. Till this day, her legacy lives on. As the British historian Michael Crowder has noted, after Amina's death, ruling-class Hausa women experienced a steady diminution in their influence and were systematically deprived of their authority and autonomy. The traditional titles and offices relating to authority over women and redress of their grievances have now become nominal or have been discarded altogether. Although Amina's success as a ruler did not have a trickle-down effect on her female successors, Amina enjoyed a lasting reputation bordering on legend as a woman warrior. Sultan Bello of Sokoto wrote, "Strange things have happened in the history of the 7 Hausa states, and most strange of this is the extent of the possessions which God gave to Aminatu, daughter of the ruler of Zazzau. She waged war in the Hausa lands and took them all, so that the men of Katsina and the men of Kano brought her tribute. She made war in Bauchi and against the other towns of the south and of the west, so that her possessions stretched down to the shores of the sea. Beyond her expansion of Zazzau territory, she created trade routes throughout northern Africa. Additionally, Amina has been credited with ordering the construction of a distinctive series of ancient Hausa fortifications known as Amina Walls, and with introducing kola nut cultivation in the area. Queen Amina was so great that the Queen Amina statue at the National Arts Theatre in Lagos State, erected to honor her, and multiple educational institutions bear her name. Her story has inspired several writers and filmmakers to write books and produce movies and educate the girl child on strength and tenacity. The story of Queen Amina bears such inspiration, but did you know that there were other powerful queens like Queen Amina? In our next video, we shall examine the top 10 most powerful queens in the history of Africa. So to make sure you don't miss that video, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you get informed in real time. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, do well to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.